Red warning lights flashed across the bridge of the U.S. Relentless as Captain James Walker gripped his command chair. Through the main viewport, he could see the massive fleet of Galactic Council ships surrounding his vessel. 50 warships against 1 human battleship. Status report, Walker commanded, his voice steady despite the situation. First Officer Michael Stone looked up from his console, his face illuminated by the emergency lighting. Not good, sir. Council ships have us surrounded in a sphere formation. No obvious gaps in their lines. The massive human battleship floated in space like a wounded beast. Its dark hull, scarred from previous battles, reflected the distant starlight. At nearly 2 kilometers long, the Relentless was humanity's greatest achievement in military technology. But now it faced destruction at the hands of those who claimed to represent civilization. "Edda, show me our options," Walker called out to the ship's eye. A holographic display materialized in the center of the bridge, showing their tactical situation. The AI's calm voice responded. "Based on current scenarios, survival probability is less than 8.2%, Captain." Walker remembered the events that had led to this moment. Just 6 months ago, humanity had approached the Galactic Council seeking membership. They had brought their best achievements, medical advances, artificial intelligence breakthroughs, and their proudest creation, the fusion-powered battleships. The Council had rejected them immediately. Too dangerous, they said. Too aggressive, they claimed. Humanity's technology was unstable and primitive. The Council demanded Earth surrender its military capabilities and accept protection, a fancy word for subjugation. Earth had refused. Now the Relentless, the flagship of humanity's small fleet, was all that stood between Earth and total submission to alien rule. A new voice cut through Walker's thoughts. "Captain, incoming transmission from the Council fleet," reported Communications Officer Lisa Reed. Walker nodded. "Put it through." A holographic image appeared, showing High Admiral Reed of the Council forces. The alien's metallic skin gleamed as it spoke in perfectly translated English. "Captain Walker, your situation is hopeless. Surrender your vessel, and we will ensure your crew is treated fairly. Continue to resist, and we will be forced to destroy you." Engineer Laura Mills spoke up from her station, her voice urgent. "Captain, I'm detecting unusual power fluctuations in their shield grid. There's something odd about how they're maintaining their formation." Walker held up his hand, silencing her. To the Council Admiral, he asked, "Why are you so afraid of us? What is it about human technology that threatens you so much?" The alien's expression shifted slightly. "Your species is too unpredictable. Your technological development follows dangerous paths. For the greater good of the galaxy, you must be contained." "Contained," Walker repeated, his voice bitter. "You mean enslaved, forced to abandon our way of life because it doesn't fit your perfect order." The engineer's voice came again, more insistent. "Captain, I think I see it now. Their shields, they're all linked together. It's making them stronger, but—" High Admiral Reed cut her off. "This is your final warning, Captain Walker. Surrender or be destroyed. You have 5 minutes to lower your shields and power down your weapons." The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in tense silence. Walker turned to his engineer. "What were you saying about their shields?" Laura's eyes lit up with excitement. "They're using a linked network, sir. All 50 ships are supporting each other's shield systems. It makes them nearly impenetrable. But—" She paused, fingers flying over her console. "If we could overload one section, the feedback could cascade through their entire formation." "Ada," Walker called out. Analysis. The AI's response was immediate. Engineer Mills's observation is correct. A concentrated burst of our fusion cannons at the right point could theoretically create a chain reaction. However, the precision required would be beyond human capability to calculate in real time. "But not beyond yours?" Walker asked. "Correct, Captain. I can calculate it. However, success probability remains low, at 23.4%. Walker stood up, looking at each member of his bridge crew. 23% is better odds than surrender. Humanity didn't come this far to kneel before those who fear progress. He straightened his uniform. Battle stations, everyone. Let's show the Council why they were right to fear us. The red alert klaxon sounded throughout the ship as the crew prepared for what might be their final battle. The Relentless's fusion engines hummed to life, and its weapons began charging. Either they would change the galaxy forever, or they would die trying. The bridge of the Relentless shook as another blast from the Council fleet struck their shields. First Officer Michael Stone studied his tactical display, watching the energy readings with growing interest. Something wasn't right about how the enemy ships were behaving. Shields at 64% and falling, reported Engineer Laura Mills. Her fingers danced across the controls, redirecting power to maintain their defenses. We can't take much more of this, Captain. Captain Walker paced the bridge, his mind racing. Ada, show me the enemy formation again. The ship's AI displayed a detailed hologram of the surrounding Council vessels. 50 ships arranged in a perfect sphere around them, their linked shields glowing with a faint blue light. There's a pattern here, Stone muttered, more to himself than anyone else. He had spent years studying alien combat tactics, and something about this formation seemed oddly familiar. Ada, can you show me their shield frequencies? A hologram change, now showing waves of energy flowing between the Council ships. Stone's eyes widened as he watched the pattern repeat. Captain, he called out suddenly, I think I see their weakness. Their shields aren't just linked. They're synchronized. They're using the same basic technology they've had for the past 1,000 years. Walker moved to Stone's station. Explain. The Council hasn't innovated in centuries. They've only refined what they already had. But our shields... Stone paused, excitement building in his voice. Ours work completely differently. Laura joined the conversation from her engineering station. He's right. Our fusion-powered shields operate on a quantum level. The Councils are still using standard energy fields. How does this help us? Walker asked, his eyes fixed on the hostile fleet surrounding them. Stone smiled for the first time since the battle began. Their shields are perfect against their own technology, but they've never faced anything like us before. If we can create a feedback loop, we might overload their entire network, Laura finished. But the timing would have to be perfect. Another blast rocked the ship. Shields at 52%, Ada announced calmly. The main screen lit up as High Admiral Reed's transmission cut through again. Your time is running out, Captain Walker. We can detect your shield weakness. Surrender now and spare your crew. Walker held up his hand, signaling his crew to wait. Admiral, I have a question. When was the last time the Council actually invented something new? Not improved, but truly created something different. The alien leader's metallic face showed a flicker of confusion. We have perfected our technology over millennia. There is no need for dangerous experimentation. That's what I thought, Walker replied. He turned to Stone. How long do you need? 3 minutes to calculate the precise frequency. Stone answered. But sir, this is completely untested. If we're wrong, we'll be dead, Walker finished. But we're dead anyway if we surrender. Ada, can you help Officer Stone with the calculations? Affirmative, Captain. Beginning analysis now. The Council Admiral's voice grew harsh. Whatever you're planning, it won't work. Our technology is perfect, refined, superior. No, Walker said, his voice firm. Your technology is stagnant, and that's why you fear us. He cut the transmission. The next 2 minutes were tense as Stone and Ada worked on their calculations. The ship continued to shake under enemy fire. Shields at 41%, Laura reported. Ready, Stone announced finally. But Captain, we'll have to drop our shields for exactly 2.3 seconds to create the proper frequency match. Walker looked around his bridge. Every crew member's face showed the same determination. They knew the stakes. How many ships can we take out? If it works, Stone checked his calculations one final time. All of them. The feedback loop should cascade through their entire formation. But if we're off by even a fraction of a second, another hit rocked the ship. Shields at 35%. Laura called out. Walker took his command chair. Send the surrender signal, he ordered. Sir? Stone asked, surprised. Let them think they've won. Get ready to drop shields on my mark. Walker's hands gripped his armrests. Ada, power up all fusion cannons. The moment our shields drop, fire everything we have at these coordinates. The surrender signal went out. Around them, the Council ships began to relax their formation slightly. Now, Walker commanded. The Relentless's shields dropped. For 2.3 terrifying seconds, they were completely exposed. Then their fusion cannons fired, releasing a blast of energy unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The result was beyond even their most optimistic calculations. Time seemed to freeze on the bridge of the Relentless as their fusion cannons fired. The blast of energy, glowing with an intense blue-white light, struck the nearest Council ship precisely where Stone had calculated. For a moment, nothing happened. Did it fail? Laura whispered, her hands hovering over the engineering controls. Then they saw it. The Council ship's shields began to shimmer with an unusual pattern. The energy didn't dissipate as normal weapons fire would. Instead, it began to spiral and grow, feeding back through the linked shield network. Ada, record everything. Walker ordered, his voice tense. The galaxy needs to see this. The effect spread like ripples in a pond. Each Council ship's shields began to flare and pulse with uncontrolled energy. Their perfect formation, maintained by thousand-year-old technology, was becoming their greatest weakness. Energy cascade expanding exponentially, Ada reported. Council ships experiencing critical shield failures. On the main screen, High Admiral Reed's face appeared, showing real fear for the first time. What have you done? This is impossible. Your primitive technology couldn't possibly. His transmission cut off as the first Council ship's shields collapsed completely. The feedback loop had grown too powerful to contain. One by one, like dominoes falling, the mighty Council vessels lost their defensive screens. Status report, Walker called out, standing from his chair as they watched the incredible scene unfold. Stone's voice was filled with awe. It worked better than we calculated, sir. The energy feedback isn't just disabling their shields. It's overloading their main power systems. They're completely defenseless. Laura added from her station, the linked network they were so proud of. It turned their strength into a weakness. They can't even shut it down now. The cascade is self-sustaining. The bridge crew watched in amazement as the mighty Council fleet, which had seemed invincible just minutes ago, floated powerless in space. None of their ships were destroyed. Humanity had won without taking a single life. Open a channel to all vessels, Walker ordered, including any observation posts in range. When the channel was ready, he spoke clearly and firmly. This is Captain James Walker of the Earth vessel Relentless. Your ships are disabled but intact. Your crews are safe. We could destroy you now, but that's not our way. Instead, I offer terms. The response came not from High Admiral Reed, but from a junior Council officer. We are listening, Captain Walker. First, you will withdraw all forces threatening Earth. Second, you will acknowledge humanity's right to develop our technology without interference. Third, you will open an investigation into why the Council has been suppressing innovation across the galaxy. Stone's console lit up with incoming transmissions. Sir, you need to see this. We're getting signals from dozens of worlds. Other species watching what just happened. They're cheering for us. Laura pulled up a data stream on her screen. Captain, some of these messages. There are other races out there who've been hobbled by Council restrictions. They're calling this a revolution. Walker nodded gravely. Ada, show me the Council ship's status. All 50 vessels have lost main power, the AI reported. Life support and basic systems are running on auxiliaries. No casualties reported. They are, as humans would say, dead in the water. The junior council officer's voice came through again, sounding shaken. Captain Walker, the council representatives on our ships are. They're demanding we refuse your terms. But the fleet captains, we want to talk. Many of us have questioned the old ways, seen what your ship just did. Send rescue shuttles to all vessels, Walker ordered his crew. Provide any technical assistance they need to restore basic functions. He turned back to the communication screen. Your council representatives will learn what humanity already knows. True strength comes from innovation and adaptation, not from clinging to the past. As the Relentless's crew began rescue operations, news of what happened spread across council space at faster-than-light speeds. The impossible had occurred. A single human ship had defeated the council's finest fleet, not through superior numbers or destructive power, but through innovation and understanding. Sir, Stone reported, looking up from his console with a slight smile. We're getting signals from Earth. They're calling us heroes. Walker shook his head. We're not heroes. We're just the first. The galaxy's about to change, and humanity will help lead the way. He looked at the disabled council fleet. Send word to Earth. Tell them to prepare for guests. I think it's time for some real diplomatic talks. The bridge crew of the Relentless shared knowing looks. They had done more than win a battle. They had started a revolution, and it was only the beginning. 1 week after the battle, the Relentless orbited a neutral space station at the edge of Council space. Captain Walker stood at the observation deck, watching ships from dozens of different species arrive for what would become a historic meeting. Sir, Stone called from behind him. You need to see this. They walked together to the station's main communication center, where Laura was sorting through hundreds of incoming messages. The room's walls were covered with displays showing news from across the galaxy. It's happening everywhere, Laura explained, pointing to different screens. Every species that the council kept down is speaking up. Look at this one. The main screen showed a race of beings Walker had never seen before, tall, crystal-like creatures who moved with grace. Their leader spoke in translated English. For 300 years, the council told us our crystal-based technology was too dangerous to develop. Now we see the truth. They feared what we might become. Stone pulled up another message. This one showed huge, bear-like aliens working on what looked like advanced mining equipment. These are the miners of deep space, he explained. The council restricted their mining technology, claiming it might damage space itself. But look what they built in secret. The screen showed amazing machines that could harvest resources from asteroids without destroying them. Technology that could have helped many worlds, kept hidden by council fears. Ada, Walker called to the ship's AI through his communicator. How many species have contacted us so far? 37 distinct civilizations have reached out in the past week, Ada reported. All report similar experiences with council suppression. 15 have already declared independence from council authority. Laura looked up from her station. Captain, you should hear this. The council's inner worlds are in chaos. Different factions are fighting for control. The ones who wanted to keep suppressing technology are losing power. A new alert flashed on the main screen. A familiar face appeared. The junior council officer who had surrendered during the battle. But now he wore different insignia. Captain Walker, he said, his metallic face showing what looked like excitement. I've been chosen to lead a new faction within the council. We call ourselves the Progressives. We want to learn from Earth, to understand how you balance innovation with safety. Walker nodded. And the old leadership, High Admiral Reed and his supporters have been removed from power. Their 1,000 years of keeping the galaxy in chains are over. The officer paused. But we need help. Many worlds don't trust the council anymore, even with new leadership. Trust has to be earned, Walker replied. But Earth is willing to help build something new. Just then, Stone called out in surprise, "Captain, look at these readings." The screen showed new ships appearing at the edge of the station's sensor range. But these weren't council vessels or known alien designs. They were ships that had been hidden, kept secret from the council's watchful eyes. "More are coming," Laura reported, her voice filled with wonder. "Ships with technology we've never seen before. Every species that was forced to hide their progress. They're all revealing themselves now." Walker watched as vessels of all shapes and sizes approached the station. Each one represented a civilization that had continued to innovate in secret, waiting for the day when they could be free. "Sir," Stone said quietly, "what we did, it didn't just defeat a fleet. It broke chains that were thousands of years old." Walker nodded. "And now we have a responsibility. All these species, all this hidden knowledge, we need to help them share it safely. Earth can show them how to innovate without losing control." The station's docking bays were filling up. Representatives from dozens of worlds were arriving for what would become known as the Freedom Conference. Each brought their own hidden technologies, their own dreams of progress that the Council had tried to suppress. "Ada," Walker called, "send a message to Earth. Tell them we're going to need more diplomats, and engineers, and scientists. Tell them the galaxy is waking up." As he watched more ships arrive, Walker smiled. Humanity had done more than prove itself. They had shown the galaxy that progress couldn't be contained forever. Now, species that had been kept apart by Council fears were coming together, ready to share their knowledge and build something new. The age of suppression was over. The age of innovation had begun. The main hall of the former Council archive building was silent except for the sound of Laura's quick typing. 3 days had passed since representatives from Earth gained access to the Council's most secure data vaults. What they found inside changed everything they thought they knew about the galaxy. "Captain, you need to see this immediately," Laura called out, her voice shaking slightly. Walker and Stone hurried to her workstation. Ada's holographic interface projected beside them, helping sort through thousands of years of hidden records. "Show me," Walker ordered, his face serious. Laura pulled up an ancient document on the main screen. "This is from the original founding of the Council, over 3,000 years ago. It wasn't about peace or progress at all. Look at their real mission." The document showed the Council's true purpose: to prevent any species from becoming too powerful. They didn't fear war. They feared being replaced as the galaxy's rulers. "There's more," Stone added, pointing to another screen. "Every time a species made a big technological breakthrough, the Council didn't just stop them. They stole their research. Look at these storage vaults." Ada's voice joined the conversation. "I have analyzed the vault contents. The Council has collected and hidden 47,892 major technological innovations from various species over the past 3 millennia. Walker's fists clenched. They've been keeping everyone weak on purpose, stealing their futures. He turned to Laura. "How deep does this go?" Laura pulled up more files. "It's worse than that. Remember how they call our fusion technology primitive? Look at this." The screen showed detailed studies of human technology. The Council hadn't feared their weapons because they were dangerous. They feared them because they were new, different, something their ancient systems couldn't control. "All those species at the Freedom Conference," Stone said quietly. "All their hidden technologies. The Council knew about most of them. They just pretended those innovations were too dangerous to use." Walker studied the data carefully. "Ada, can you calculate how far advanced the galaxy should be by now without Council interference?" "Based on the rate of innovation shown in these records," Ada replied, "galactic civilization should be approximately 847 years more advanced than current levels. The Council's suppression has caused significant technological stagnation." Suddenly, all the screens flashed red. "Security breach," Laura called out. "Someone's trying to delete the archives." "Not someone," Stone corrected, checking his readings. "The old Council leadership. They built in a self-destruct system. If their secrets were ever discovered, save everything. Walker commanded. Ada, download as much as you can. Laura's fingers flew across her console. The deletion is spreading too fast. We can't save it all. Focus on the weapon vault data, Stone suggested quickly. If they hid devastating weapons in these vaults, we need to know where they are. Walker had a different idea. No, save the innovation records. The peaceful discoveries they stole. Weapons we can handle, but these people deserve to know what was taken from them. Ada's voice came through calm and clear. Implementing priority download of civilian technological innovations. Estimated completion time: 3 minutes. Archive deletion will complete in 3.5 minutes. The room filled with tension as they watched the progress bar climb. 20%, 45%, 67%. Around them, data started disappearing from screens as the Council's deletion program ate through centuries of secrets. Incoming transmission, Ada announced. High Admiral Reed. The fallen Council leader's face appeared on a side screen. You've gone too far, humans. Some knowledge is too dangerous to be free. The old order maintained peace through control. No, Walker replied firmly. You maintained power through theft and lies. That ends today. The progress bar hit 100% just as the last archives began to vanish. Laura checked the downloaded data quickly. We got it. Everything about the stolen innovations, who made them, and where they're hidden. Broadcast it, Walker ordered. Send it to every species at the Freedom Conference. Let everyone see what the Council really is. You'll destroy everything. Reed warned. Without our control, the galaxy will fall into chaos. Walker smiled grimly. No, Admiral. We're going to build something better. Together. With everyone's innovations, everyone's dreams. He turned to his crew. Prepare a transmission to all known worlds. It's time everyone learned the truth. As the last Council archives vanished into darkness, a new light was spreading across the galaxy. The light of hidden knowledge, finally free to shine again. The Relentless led a fleet of 500 ships through hyperspace, but these weren't just human vessels anymore. Ships of every shape, size, and design flew together, each one representing a species that had broken free from Council control. Captain Walker stood on his bridge, watching the massive fleet on the main display. Status report, he called out. All ships holding formation, Stone reported from his tactical station. The Crystal ship engineers have upgraded 30% of our fleet with their advanced drive systems. We're moving twice as fast as any Council fleet ever could. Laura added from engineering. The deep space miners technology has reinforced all our hulls. And those bird-like aliens, the Sky Weavers, their shield improvements are amazing. The Council kept all these species apart for a reason, sir. Together, we're unstoppable. Ada's hologram appeared in the center of the bridge. Captain, incoming transmission from Earth Command. The screen lit up showing Admiral Jones from Earth. Captain Walker, the situation is developing faster than expected. Half the Council worlds have already declared their independence. Their defense fleets are joining our side. And the other half? Walker asked. Still loyal to High Admiral Reed. He's gathered the remaining Council forces at their capital station. Intelligence suggests he's accessing weapons from the hidden vaults we discovered. Walker nodded grimly. How many ships does he have? 2,000 vessels, but they're all using the old technology. They don't have any of the improvements our alliance has developed. The bridge crew shared determined looks. They'd faced worse odds before. New contact. Stone called out suddenly. A lot of them. Sir, you need to see this. The space around their fleet lit up as hundreds of ships appeared. These weren't Council designs. They were hidden fleets from dozens of species, emerging from secret shipyards and bases across the galaxy. A new voice came over the command channel. It was one of the Crystal being captains. The Council thought they knew about all our hidden technology. They were wrong. We're here to fight with you, humans, to build the free galaxy. More ships kept arriving, vessels that had been hidden for centuries, waiting for this moment. The Revolution fleet grew from 500 to over 3,000 ships. "Sir," Laura reported excitedly, "these ships are sharing their technology with us through the network we created. Everyone is combining their innovations. The Council never imagined different species could work together like this." Walker stood up, looking at his crew. "Send a message to all ships. Tell them it's time. We're taking the fight to the capital." The massive fleet accelerated to speeds the Council had always claimed were impossible. Their combined technologies created something entirely new, a force for change that couldn't be stopped. As they approached the Council capital station, they saw Reed's fleet waiting for them. 2,000 ships arranged in the same perfect formations they'd used for 1,000 years. "They haven't learned," Stone observed. "They're still using their old tactics. Open a channel to Admiral Reed," Walker ordered. The fallen Council leader's face appeared, showing a mixture of anger and fear. "Your revolution ends here, humans. You've corrupted the perfect order we created." "No," Walker replied calmly. "We freed the galaxy from your lies. One last chance, Admiral. Surrender." "Never. Our technology is perfect, refined over thousands of years. You cannot defeat." His words cut off as Walker signaled to end the transmission. "All ships," he commanded, "battle formation. Show them what happens when we work together." The Revolution fleet moved as one. Crystal ships projected energy fields that the Council's sensors couldn't detect. Deep space miners' vessels opened hyperspace shortcuts that should have been impossible. Skyweaver ships danced through space in ways that defied old physics. And in the center, the Relentless led the charge, its human innovation combined with the best technology of a dozen species. "All weapons ready," Stone reported. "The fleet is awaiting your command." Walker looked at the Council fleet, the last remnant of the old order that had kept the galaxy in chains for so long. "For a free galaxy," he said clearly. "All ships, attack." The battle for the future of the galaxy was about to begin. The battle for the Council capital station shook the very fabric of space. The Revolution fleet, powered by the combined innovations of dozens of species, moved in ways that the Council's tactical computers couldn't even understand. "First wave, engage," Walker commanded from the Relentless's bridge. The crystal ships moved forward, their advanced energy fields bending weapon fire away from the fleet. Behind them, the Skyweaver vessels released clouds of microdrones that confused the Council's targeting systems. "Their formations are breaking," Stone reported, excitement in his voice. "They don't know how to fight against so many different technologies at once." Laura called from her station. "Sir, the deep space miners' ships have reached their position. They're ready to use their special weapon." Walker nodded. This was the moment they'd planned for. "Tell them to begin." Huge mining vessels at the edges of the battle activated their most secret technology, gravity manipulators that could bend space itself. The Council fleet's perfect formation began to drift apart as space curved around them. "Now," Walker ordered, "all ships, implement Operation Freedom." The Revolution fleet split into smaller groups, each using different technological advantages. Council ships found themselves trapped between waves of attacks they'd never seen before. Their 1,000-year-old tactics were useless against this combined assault. "Admiral Reed is calling," Ada announced. Walker accepted the transmission. Reed's face showed pure shock. "This is impossible. These technologies cannot work together. The Council proved it centuries ago." "No," Walker replied. "You lied about it centuries ago. Everyone, show him the truth." At that moment, every ship in the Revolution fleet activated their new combined systems. Crystal technology merged with human fusion drives. Skyweaver shields linked with deep space miners' gravity controls. Dozens of different innovations working together in ways the Council had claimed were impossible. "Half their fleet is retreating," Stone reported. "The other half, they're powering down their weapons." A new voice cut through the command channel. One of the council ship captains. We surrender. We see the truth now. The old council kept us blind, trapped in the past. We want to join your revolution. One by one, council ships began lowering their shields. Only Reed's personal flagship and a small group of loyal vessels still fought. It's over, Admiral, Walker said firmly. Your perfect order is finished. The galaxy is embracing change. Reed's face showed desperation. You don't understand. Without control, without perfect order, there will be chaos. No, Walker answered. There will be progress. The last council ships finally surrendered. Reed's flagship stood alone before the massive Revolution fleet. Captain, Laura called out, signals coming from the capital station. The council members inside. They're asking to negotiate. Walker stood from his command chair. Tell them our terms. First, all hidden technology must be returned to its rightful creators. Second, every species gets an equal voice in the new galaxy government. Third, no more suppression of innovation, ever. The response came quickly. The council members had agreed. Even they could see their old world was gone forever. Reed's flagship finally powered down its weapons. The last battle was over. Hours later, Walker stood in the council's great hall, now filled with representatives from every species in the Revolution. The same room where the council had rejected Earth now hosted the birth of something new. The galaxy stands at a new beginning, Walker addressed the gathered species. Not perfect order, but perfect freedom. Freedom to innovate, to discover, to grow. Together. Stone and Laura stood with him as the different species came forward to sign the new alliance treaty. Crystal beings stood next to humans. Deep space miners shared ideas with skyweavers. Former council worlds talked freely with the species they'd once helped suppress. Look at them all, Laura said softly. Every species bringing their own knowledge, their own dreams. And to think, Stone added, it all started with one human battleship that refused to surrender. Walker watched as former enemies became partners in progress. The Relentless had done more than win a battle. It had awakened a galaxy. The age of suppression was over. The age of unlimited progress had begun. High above the station, the Revolution fleet floated in formation, not as a sign of control now, but as a symbol of unity. Each ship different, each technology unique, but all working together to protect their new future. The galaxy would never be the same. And that was exactly what they'd fought for.